So Daulton, you start out in Dunedin. How much real does it get now that you're in AAA? That it's getting closer.
It just feels like I'm a baseball player again. It's one of those things where you go through the rehab process. This is the first time for me really kind of going through it. It's just really tough because you kind of come here and you're like, all right, now I'm a baseball player again. You're doing the normal things. You're taking BP. You're with the team. So it's honestly really fun for me to kind of just be myself again.
And when you get out in the outfield, that's going to be the real test, right?
Yeah. So I played one game in Dunedin on Sunday. So just again, just being my normal self out there will be really fun.
What did you think of just the at-bats today? You're just trying to, feel good at the plate, I know. And
yeah.
You won with the bases loaded, but what would you think in general?
Overall, I thought obviously it's just kind of getting comfortable again, seeing pitching every day. So I'm not really too worried about it. But the last swing was a really good indicator. Okay, I trusted my process and got a pitch that I could do something with. And lefty made really good pitches on me tonight. So just one of those things where you just shake it off, move on to tomorrow.
You were swinging the bat so well during spring training. How hard was it for you to kind of take a step back and not head north and just kind of continue rehabbing?
Yeah, it was tough for me for a couple days. Just kind of really reflected of understanding what I need to do and kind of continue to improve my process. And obviously being down there of just kind of getting my arm ready was probably the best thing for me. Obviously it was frustrating, but it's just kind of the decision that they made. And now I'm able to be back probably a little bit quicker than probably what I would have been if I was there.
How difficult was it mentally just in the winter, trying to be ready for the season but not knowing exactly how it was going to go?
Yeah, so I was kind of going back and forth. So I was going to Florida and then going back home. So every 3 weeks it was kind of a checkup to be down there. So I was there in Florida full time in January, and so obviously I had more of my baseball process kind of starting a little bit later. So just understanding that and going through it, it's tough. Just don't wish anybody kind of that injury because it takes a while, and just being able to move your shoulder correctly is probably the toughest thing because once you get over one hurdle, there's always a blockage right after it. And so once you're able to kind of get over those and kind of get through some of the issues of the pain and discomforts, and you kind of be able to get through those, you just get through that process, and it's just tough. But being able to get through it and where I'm at now, I'm really happy.
In that context, with that going from first to third tonight, does that test it in some way?
Not really. Running's not a really big issue. Kind of the early on issues was just feeling comfortable of getting my arm action back and understanding, okay, swinging, what did that feel like? So obviously once I was able to get over those hurdles in spring, I'm basically kind of the same now.
So swinging and throwing were the two main cruxes, but running still was comfortable?
Running was still perfectly fine.
Okay.
Other big one was obviously kind of going into the wall, but kind of got over that. That was more of a mental hurdle than it really was a physical hurdle. But obviously getting through that and working on that, totally fine.
Hey, Daulton, what was your reaction to the news that Vladdy had worked out his extension?
It was awesome. I mean, obviously he wanted to be in Toronto for a long time, and so I thought it was really good for him, good for the team to be able to kind of get through that and just know that he's going to be a Blue Jay for the rest of his life.
What did you think just in general of spring training, just the approach guys took? And it seemed like the word that filtered out of it was they were really, focused on what they needed to do this year, and really the togetherness was getting there.
Yeah, I thought it's awesome. I mean, you watch us play. I've been watching a lot of the games, and we've been taking really good at bats. Obviously, yeah, we haven't got runners to score, but obviously you look at the bats. We're putting the ball in play with hard contact, and there's really not much more you can ask for. I mean, a lot of people are yelling about the homers, but those are going to come. I mean, you look at the top part of our lineup, not many of them have really taken off yet, but it's going to happen here pretty soon, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Hey, did you talk to your father before this game here?
I talk to him every day, so I always try to just see what's going on at home, making sure everything's fine. But
did you know you were part of history?
I just found out as I was here. I didn't know that.
Did he talk to you all about just that short time he was here? It was the Pirates. It was a big deal back then with the Pirates. So
yeah, he didn't. I didn't even really realize that he played here. Okay. To be honest, so yeah.
So now you have to go back. You'll circle back to him about it.
Oh yeah, I'll circle back to him either later tonight or tomorrow, just to kind of talk to him about it and what he thought about this place compared to when he played here, when I played here. So.
Gotcha.
He might tell you about some deep, dark corners that don't exist anymore.
Probably.
You talk about the adjustments. I mean, not only rehabbing, but now becoming a dad. How much adjustment can you pack into a month?
Yeah, obviously it's been a lot of traveling for me, but we had a baby girl, so she's doing really well. My wife's doing really well after the process, and It was a very good eye-opening experience for me because obviously you don't know what it really is going to be like until you're kind of in that spot and it happens. And what a cool experience! And obviously my wife did great with it, and just God bless for everything that went well, because obviously it's tough when people don't get to that point and go through all like the miscarriage and stuff like that. So I know what it feels like to be in those shoes. So when you're able to have a kid, it's a blessing.
What's your daughter's name?
Maeve, Maeve.
Very nice.
So perfect.
So, was it a lot of adjustment to take on in a couple of weeks here, as opposed to being in Toronto and just playing through? And
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like going home and being able to be there for that was awesome, and then being able to go down to Florida and start kind of my rehab process. Obviously, like, yeah, it was a lot of flying going back and forth, but now being just a baseball player and kind of being able to go through that, and then my wife and Maeve will be able to come up and enjoy being up in Toronto when I get back up there. And so obviously it's a lot of adjustments, but I'm ready to take on those challenges.
There was some structure to it, and that things weren't being thrown at you in some sort of haphazard manner.
No, obviously, like there was a certain process through the time period of, okay, I was able to go home. It was kind of like lined up perfectly. I was able to go home and kind of start my rehab process, because it was like those couple days of adjustment of being able to, okay, like we're ready to throw, being able to do all that stuff in the game.
Do you have a timetable on how long you want to be here for?
I don't know.
Thank you, Daulton.